Hello and welcome back to The Real Franchise, a video series designed to deliver real information, real answers and real insights into franchising. This series is brought to you by James Home Services Australia. I'm the CEO and Justin is one of our owners and our head of new businesses. Together in this series, we're going to tackle all of the big topics, unscripted, unplanned and unfiltered. No sales, no fluff. We're just going to give you the information straight up. Today's topic is all about the power of franchising. Whether you agree with franchising, whether you're here to find out more, whether you're here because you're a little skeptical and looking to learn a little bit more about our model, wherever you're coming from and however you've landed here, franchising is globally recognized as one of the most, if not the most powerful business models in the world. And there's a really good reason for that. In fact, there's a host of really good reasons, and that is exactly what we're going to dive into today. Justin, franchising has been around for over 150 years on our planet as a business model available to entrepreneurs. Why on earth has it been around for so long? Why is it so powerful? At a really high level, what makes franchising, what has given it that longevity as a viable business model?
There's a whole range, at a high level, whole range of reasons. I think quite simply, though, when we come to try and have our own business, we're starting on our own. We've got to find all the information, the lack of knowledge, experience, whole range of things, just things we're not even aware of. Whereas a franchise has come about because of a whole range of people with a whole range of skills have been working in the very field they're working in or want to work in and have put these together. The way I often describe it to people is it's, in our case, it's like we've been down the road, we've found the potholes and we've discovered the solutions for filling them in. If you're not in a franchise, you're going to hit those potholes. You're going to have to work out how to push through. In a franchise, in a good franchise, there is always an answer to a problem you're facing.
There's someone who's traveled the road before you. It's such a great analogy, isn't it? Because it really simplifies exactly what we do as a network for our business owners. We travel the road, we design the road, we travel it, we fill in any potholes, we overcome the challenges, we find the bumps, we smooth them out, find the potholes, we fill them in, we refine our systems and our processes. And then when we take somebody else along the journey with us, down the road with us, a new business owner, we're able to lead them on that journey in a lot more simplified kind of a way. At the real basis, franchising is so powerful because it's a shared vision and it's shared goals, and it's instead of just you starting a business and pushing your brand or your product or your service out into the marketplace, it's you and maybe 50 other businesses, all with the same goals, all with the same business intentions, all with the same branding, all with the same message, all with the same service to be delivered with the same quality to customers. It's powerful because it's not just you. It's so many other people following the same system as you. And that beautiful old saying, a rising tide lifts all boats. And that is what franchising is. If you're a little old boat out there on your own, you got to weather the storms. Whereas in a franchise network, you've got so many other people around you to weather those storms with you. Your franchisor has weathered the storms before and is in a great position to lead you through those. But you've got all these other business owners with the same goals, with the same brand, representing the same service, the same product. You're all marketing the same things. And it's just that combined effort is powerful. You go and start a cleaning business on your own. You're one person. You start a cleaning business in our network and you're one of a sea of James cleaning businesses across Australia. And we're advertising for you, you're advertising for you, and all your colleagues across Australia are also advertising for you. That means that you're known in the marketplace. Our systems are known. You stick to the system and it works. So the power is in the group. The power is not The power is in not being alone. And there are some franchise networks. One of the very first historical indicators we have of the franchise model coming about is actually back in 1851, if you can believe it.
Oh, yeah.
Over 150 years ago. And do you know what it was? It was Singer, as in Singer sewing machines, a brand still around today, Singer sewing machines. And they were a product manufacturer. They built sewing machines and they were looking for a distribution model. They were looking to be able to get their sewing machines into the hands of more customers. However, the company was cash strapped. They didn't have the ability to build their own distribution model. So instead, they enabled individual people out there in the marketplace to sell their product. And therefore, they sold more sewing machines. And what that led to is a company that 150 years later, plus some 175 years later, is still well known to us.
Wow.
McCormick tractors were around the same time, and they built tractors as well as other farming implements. And it was around the 1850s. They used the same model to distribute their product. And McCormick tractors are still in manufacture today, not by the company. They're now a subsidiary of a different company, but the brand is still alive today. So the power of franchising is in the ability to scale what you can achieve on your own.
That's it.
In our franchise network, that's a bit of a high-level overview. But what I feel like would be more relevant for anybody listening to this might be, what is the power in our franchise network? Why would you consider a franchise network over going it alone? Why should you, frankly, consider a franchise network over going it alone? What are some of the more powerful reasons that you would indeed consider a franchise network?
It's a great question. I did an interview recently with one of our one of our top franchisees, Greg and Gina Morrison. They're in Queensland, in Brisbane, and he came from an IT background. And I posed that question to him. Why would you? Well, actually, he said it was his family had posed the question to him. And why would you join a franchise? And he said, well, I know nothing about the cleaning industry. It's a whole new industry. I've never had my own business. I know I can work, and I'm a systems person. I know if I'm given the right tools, I can follow it. And so he joined James and has built a fantastic business. He's one of our national trainers now. And he just said it so much better than I'm saying it now. But to me personally, having had a cleaning franchises myself, that saying, you don't know what you don't know. And I see people comment sometimes on our Facebook marketing going, oh, why would you join a franchise, and pay those fees? It's like, well, if you're doing it on your own, like I'll give a couple of examples. Just to have a website and to have it maintained, like Google does updates and then all of a sudden links aren't working. And if you're like me, it would have no idea about websites or IT. Your website's down and you don't even know it. It could be 6 months. And I see that happen to other independent businesses, right? They spend a heap of money at the beginning of their business to build a website. Well, it doesn't exist anymore because there's a link broken and no one can, you click to go see their business and it comes up with an error. Simple things like that. The computer system that all of our network get to use, as you know, Rhiannon, as our CEO, we've spent over $200,000-300,000 on it in the last couple of years.
Yeah, so easily. And that's just direct cost. You take into account the level, the time cost that me and some others who have been involved in the actual design, development, implementation and rollout, we're clearly up over $500,000 worth of investment in our IT structure. And just as a small independent business owner, you just can't do that. The power is economies of scale, isn't it? That's really what we're talking about. It's economies of scale and it's a fast-tracked startup process. Startup is hard and you've got to learn so many new things. And yet you join a franchise network and it's like, here is your startup process for you. Here it is. Follow the steps. It's like a game of snakes and ladders, but there's no snakes. There's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's ladders. If you're going it alone as an independent, you've literally just got to step through every single step and you've got to figure it all out on the way. If you join a franchise network, it's like playing a game of snakes and ladders and only landing on the ladders. you roll the dice and you move ahead 4 paces and you get to the bottom of a ladder, and it's like you fast track up the ladder because here we are, your business coach is on the sidelines saying, hey, just do A, B, C, and D. You've gotten here, so now we just need you to do this, and then you need to do that, and then show up for your training here, and it's all just laid out in front of you. It's so powerful. Governments spend an awful lot of money invested into like small business incubators, for instance, and accelerator business programs. I don't know if you're sort of aware of these, but my previous role was as a business consultant in a private company. And so I'm well across the kind of government assistance that's provided to encourage our small business community to mobilize, because we know in Australia that we are built on the back of small businesses. So government is highly, highly invested in the success of small business in this country, and they spend billions. They spend so much money trying to get small businesses going, and they have incubators and they have startup programs and accelerator programs and business planning programs and business mentoring programs. And it's like none of it is new. The franchising industry has literally been doing this since Singer started it in 1851. That's the power of franchising. What government think is new and novel and, is innovative. They're touting startup accelerator programs and incubators as innovative. And it's like, franchising's been over here doing it for over 100 years. That's the power, hey? That's the power. What else? I mean, systems and processes. We've got to talk about systems and processes, right? Because if we were to give a boring dictionary definition of franchising, really the definition is just systems and processes proven to lead to results when followed. That's what a franchise is. So in our network, we have proven systems and processes that we've developed and refined. That's the value we offer. Can you explain, why is that so valuable for someone listening who's like, yeah, but I can figure out how to clean a house. I can figure out how to start a business. Why is it that you might actually place value in a franchise network's systems and processes?
One of the first things I discuss with people in the first sort of introductory meeting I do when I'm talking to people in a Zoom meeting, I just put it simply in dollars and cents. When you look at from our key franchises that we run, if you look at what the industry average hourly rate is, for example, in that particular business versus what the James average hourly rate that our people are earning right now, it's usually about double, So our guys are earning probably double what the other bloke down the road, So yes, you could go out and start your own cleaning business, and yay, I don't have to pay James a 15% franchise fee because we're a percentage franchise fee. So for saving 15%, you go and battle away on your own versus potentially earning double the income, 100% increase in income, to have all that support, learning, systems, marketing. They even tell me what gear to start with and how to quote jobs and how to price jobs and what chemicals to use where, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to cost me 15%. But the average hourly rate is double what I could have done on my own.
Yeah.
Why join a franchise?
That 15% is so worthwhile, right? It actually allows you to significantly increase your income capacity. And I will say that stat, that our guys can earn up to double what others are earning in the same market, right? You see people in Facebook groups, I'm looking for a $35 an hour cleaner or a $40 an hour cleaner. We know our guys aren't earning anywhere near that amount. We're significantly higher in our network. And it doesn't happen by chance. You can't just go out and quote those numbers. You can't just go out and quote double and win the job. It doesn't work like that. So how does it work? Well, it works because we have a certain system.
Yes,
we have a certain system and a procedure for how we quote. And it might sound silly, right? If you're listening, you might think, hang on a minute, you're just cleaners and you just lawnmower. Don't you just go out and you just give someone a number? And you would be mistaken for having that train of thought, because there's a complexity to quoting. And if you simply go out there and quote by an hourly rate, you're really capping, because the market then perceives that you're only worth a certain amount of value. You're really capping what you can earn. But we do it very differently. We We quote for the actual job. We quote by task, and we genuinely skill our business owners in following a specific procedure when it comes to quoting jobs, and then on how to present the quote and how to handle objections and how to negotiate on the quote with the client if that's what's required. We teach all of that stuff, and it's all a system. And it's all a system that we've spent 30 years. The 30 years that we've been in business, we've spent that time refining that system. So we know when it's followed, it's effective, and it's effective to the tune of doubling potentially what you can earn in your business.
Yep.
That's the power of a franchise network. And that's so worth paying a small percentage in the scheme of things, paying a small percentage of your turnover to get that guidance and that system. And the system doesn't stop at quoting, right? We've got a whole system for a follow-up procedure. We've got a whole system for how you go about marketing your business. There's a system for how you do your admin. There's a system for how you present yourself to the market, how you talk about your business, how you present yourself online and socially. There is a system for every single element of operating your business in this network. And what we find is that anyone who starts to struggle in their business, all we have to do is go back and review how they're following our system. And generally, we find that they're falling down in one particular area. And as soon as we can fix that area, we see a change in those results. So the power of a franchise network is the system. And even though it can be really enticing to think, I can develop my own system, you absolutely can. There's people who do it every day, go out and do this on their own. But you really have to be prepared to learn and to implement and to trial and retrial and make mistakes. And we've done all of that for you. That's the power of a franchise network.
Yeah. And that's sadly what I think people forget when, I went and did it myself. And, more power to you. That's fantastic. But what has it cost you? And the stats in this country show that, over 80% of businesses fail in the first, year to 3 years. Well, I don't want to fail. I've got a family to support, and that's the beauty of a franchise, because the stats are the other way. When it comes to a franchise, it's a small percentage that fail in most franchises. And I know in our own franchise, the stats, it's a fraction of the numbers of people doing it on their own, and just from simply a risk management. And we have this discussion, right, particularly because I talk to everyone who's looking at James. It's everyone's focused on what they can save on doing it on their own, doing it the hard way, but they forget and they don't take into account the costs and the missed opportunities because of all the time. You were just talking a moment ago about the systems and the quoting system, and I sort of shared out we could probably earn, our guys on average probably earn double, right, on average. The other thing, like the quoting, well, when I joined this industry over 10 years ago, the industry stat out there was that you'll win about 30 to 33% of your quotes when you're quoting, right? The stats in James nationally at the moment are 80 to 90%. So you're winning over double the quotes you're doing, means you're securing over double the work at double the rate. If my maths are right, that's a 4-fold increase on the average business. That's the power of a system. The challenge is, and I think this is the topic of maybe our next episode, is why do people then fail in a franchise, because that's the challenge. You then have to follow the system. Yeah,
that's right. And look, there's a very quick answer to why they fail in a franchise network is because they don't follow the system, because the system works. That's what's been developed. It's a proven system. It works when followed, but the critical part is when followed. That is a great topic for another episode, which we should definitely dive into at some point very near in the future. You touched before on marketing and brand, and I want to go back there and I want to dive in a little bit more on this, because when you're out there on your own, you're just one person. And even if you build up a team and you're employing, say, 10 staff, you're then 11 people. But those 11 people, there's still only really one person who's actually directly benefiting from growth in your business. Your employees aren't going to care about your business the way you do. So there's still really only one person out there absolutely rooting for your business, and that's you. And so your ability to grow a brand and grow an active audience who you can then turn into customers and growth in your business, it's an uphill battle. It's an uphill battle. When you're in a network of a franchise, in our network, there's 100. There are 100 business owners out there, all with the same goals, all with that growth mindset, all with that goal of having a bigger, healthier business that supports their family or whatever financial goals it is that they've set for themselves. And so they're all out there marketing the James brand. And so with everybody's actions, that James brand gets elevated more and more and more and more. And it's like, imagine if it wasn't just you marketing your business, it's 100 people who have the same amount at stake as you do, the same care factor as you do, the same investment as you do. Imagine what that does for your audience. Well, it means that our brand is well known. We have an awful lot of brand recognition out there in the marketplace because also we've been doing this for 30 years. There's an enormous amount of brand recognition sitting out there for our particular brand. And you just—
I'm going to tell a funny story. Sorry, I got to butt in. Funny story this morning. Brand recognition, right? I had a meeting at a coffee shop this morning, and I was in my uniform, James, etc. And I'm sitting at a table, and I'm also a celebrant. So I marry people obviously on weekends. And not in James uniform normally, but I'm sitting with this lovely couple who are getting married and going through the marriage paperwork, doing the things we need to do, and just going through the order of service and how they want the wedding one. The reason I'm saying this story now is there were two guys in the table next to us were listening, and they were both looking at me, and it took me a while to work out, and they were talking and they're trying to figure out, this is James Home Services, because they knew the brand, but he's talking about marrying this couple like it was just, and they were laughing and having this discussion because they recognise the brand. And just random people at a coffee table in a coffee shop.
Yep. But it's so powerful. You can't put a price on that. You just can't put a price on that. A franchise network is really an accelerated startup. Your systems and processes are there. It's laid out for you. And your training is there. It's laid out for you. The brand is there. It's laid out for you. There's a reputation already there. It's laid out for you. And all you have to do is just take all of that, harness it, and run with it. Follow that system. Advocate for that brand. Work really, really hard with loads of integrity, but it's such a truncated process as opposed to going out and doing it on your own. And then you throw in the fact that you've got whole heaps of support. The other power in franchising is that by virtue of the model, you have access to a business coach. And the only way to get access to a business coach when you're doing it yourself is to go and find one, figure out whether they align with you and your goals or not, and whether you can work together, and then you pay for their services. And, a basic kind of an annual plan with a business coach can be anywhere sort of in the order of 20 grand. I know that you've spoken on this series about a friend of yours who identified a need in his own business for him to have a business coach, and he's on a plan with a company that costs him $20,000 annually, and that's just to engage with him. If they do anything additional with his staff or anything that's out of the normal scope, they will bill him additionally for that. Now, I'm not fantastic at maths, but 15% as a franchise fee, you're earning a lot of money to pay us 20 grand in franchise fees in a year.
Yeah.
It's so worthwhile. You have a business coach on call. You have a business coach absolutely on call, somebody who can train you in all sorts of things, can train you in that system, can train you in that marketing. They're geared up to help you handle objections, to help you present that quote, to help you price your work, help you manage your admin. If you're notoriously bad at admin, we can help with that. We have systems and processes designed to help with that. And that's the power. You have that person on call, and that's all part of the service that we deliver. It's not, at no point do you get sprung with extras, or at no point are you sitting there going, oh, I think I might need to look outside of the network for this skill or this part of training, or to go and develop this element. It's all within the franchise network. In one of the most recent episodes, we talked about the fact that essentially what we do for you is we curate a team of professionals whose job it is to guide you in delivering the best you can in your business. That's what we do. That's the power of a franchise network.
Yeah, very good. Yeah,
there's so many
really well.
Pardon?
That sums it up really well.
It does. It does. You can. We've talked around a lot of different things, but it comes back to that notion of the power of a franchise network is that team of professionals that get curated for you, that you get to work with, and that it's their role to support you. And in our network, there's our business coaches don't earn commission on your success, and we only are profitable and successful as a franchise network if our business owners are. So we are incentivized simply by virtue of our model to make sure that our business owners are operating effectively. And we take a great.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer to me. Like any one of these key areas we've just spoken about, financially, if you sat down and had a look at it, okay, yes, we've openly talked about a 15% franchise fee. We just went through the percentages of hourly rates and that with quoting and stuff. Well, we talked about computer systems and the value in that. We talked about the value in coaching. Like any one of these things, financially, the 15% makes worthwhile having. To me, personally, the big one was the marketing. Back 15 years ago, you just made sure you had a good Yellow Pages ad and you were set. So long as you were in the Yellow Pages, that was it for marketing. And the Yellow Pages charge you whatever they wanted to charge you, and it cost a fortune, but you were set. Marketing done for the year, end of story. Wow, the world is a different place now. Marketing, I have no idea. It is a highly, yes, you got to do SEO and all this stuff on Google. Well, that's not as easy as it sounds. If you're on your own trying to do it, you're not going to be able to do it the way when you're part of a good franchise network like us. We've got in-house experts that take care of that stuff, and it's all taken care of. We even pay for the first, 12 weeks campaigns when people start, all that sort of thing, taken care of. You just start your business and focus on getting your business running. The network is taking care of your marketing for you, the paid advertising side.
Yeah, when it comes to marketing, we do all the tricky stuff and we do all of the stuff that costs money. And then we teach you as the business owner how to go out and fish for yourself in your own local pond. So we go out and teach you how to go and get leads that don't cost you anything other than your time and dedication. So we teach you some old school techniques and some new modern techniques, both online and good old pounding the pavement. And combined, we teach you how to become totally independent, because you didn't come to a franchise network just to be answering to a boss, to be waiting for the jobs to just come to you. You came to a franchise network because you wanted your own business, and you wanted your own business so that you could control your time and your schedule and how you spent time with your family. So we teach you how to do that. And we also handle all of the tricky stuff for you. It's like the best of both worlds. It's so good.
Yes, that's it. Yep. Well, we've convinced each other.
Yeah, we do that often, don't we? Yes, that's what happens when you genuinely believe in. You know what? We are both so proud of what we've built in this network over the last 4 years. We've spoken about on previous episodes that you and your business partner purchased 4 years ago, and I know that this isn't the topic of this episode, but it's worth reminding anybody listening that in the last 4 years, we have led a team of experts who have completely and utterly transformed this network. There is nothing that looks the same. We've totally modernized it. And I know you feel the same, but I'm just so incredibly proud of what we and our head office team have achieved in the last 4 years. It's It's absolute transformation. It's innovation. It's agility. It's walking the walk. You can say all of the words, but we've spent 4 years walking the walk, and I'm really proud of that, and I know that you are as well. So, yeah, if we sound like we're just completely one-eyed, James, then we are. We are, but it's because we really genuinely stand behind what it is that we now have to offer the market. You know, if you're thinking about inquiring with us, we 100% stand behind what we offer our new business owners. And we think what we do better than anyone else in this industry is support. And frankly, you can't change my mind on that. I think what we do better than anyone else is support. And perhaps we should dive into that in another episode. But maybe on that very thought, we'll leave this one here. It's been interesting to chat about what makes franchising so powerful. At a high level and really simplistically, it's that power of combined effort, combined people, shared vision, shared value, shared passion, and shared goals. And at an individual level, what it means for business owners in franchise networks is that you just get to piggyback on all our experience, all our learnings, all our lessons, and we take you down the road and we teach you the best way to get down this road safely and by building a business as you go.
Yeah.
So we'll leave this episode here. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for spending half an hour of your day with us. I hope that you found some value in it. If you did, give us a like because that really supports our channel and lets us know that you're interested in what we're talking about. If there's a topic you'd like us to tackle, unscripted and unplanned, throw it in the comments below and we will get to it. We'll talk about it. If you want us to go there, we will. Until then, thank you for listening. And hopefully we'll see you in another episode of The Real Franchise very soon.